Pregame Show, presented by Dunkin.
Looks down the middle, throws it, caught by Henry at the 2, fights away from a tackler, and runs to the end zone, and spikes it for a Patriots touchdown!
The Patriots Pregame Show is the world's largest virtual tailgate, featuring fans of the 6-time Super Bowl champion New England Patriots.
Fires down the middle for Bourne, reaches up, extends, runs to the end zone, between two defenders, touchdown, Patriots!
Hardy, Mike Dussault, Paul Perillo, and Tamara Brown are here to do the grilling as your hosts. This week, the Patriots are home against the Baltimore Ravens.
James White tucks it under the right arm, cuts it upfield, driving forward, diving to the goal line! A touchdown! And a title for the Patriots!
I can't believe it!
Hardy, Mike Dussault, Paul Perillo, and Tamara Brown are here to get you ready for the game.
It's football time, fellas. Let's get into it.
Now, live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, Patriots Nation, welcome to the Patriots Pregame Show presented by Dunkin.
And we're off. Week number 3 in the NFL. It's Hardy, Mike Dussault, and Paul Perillo. Tamara Brown hopefully going to be joining us here. Busy weekend. Lots of stuff going on. You know, just jet setting all over the place. But we are here at Gillette Stadium for the home opener for the Pats against the Baltimore Ravens today. Paul, how we feeling?
Feeling good.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking forward to the home opener.
I felt the excitement. I felt the juice driving in.
Yes.
Like a lot of 9 a.m., a lot of cars coming down Route 1 right away. I'm like, okay, I like it. I dig it. This is football. You know what else? It feels like football. Weather-wise, it just feels like football, doesn't it?
A little cool, a little crisp in the air, tiny bit nice. I mean, a lot. It seems like all of a sudden we went right from summer to like winter almost yesterday. It felt pretty cold, but
I hate that.
Nice crisp day.
But everything else, the activity around the stadium, walking through, saw the guys with the pizza oven.
Yep.
Were out there, and they had their TV monitors out. They were watching some clips of the Vince Wilfork ceremony yesterday, the Hall of Fame ceremony here at Gillette Stadium, and I know the season's been going on for a couple of weeks, but it's almost like when you don't have your home opener yet, you don't have any games at Gillette yet. You know, it hasn't really started for you. So today feels like the unofficial start.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it. The unofficial start of the football season. Tamara Brown with us. Hi, Tamara.
Hi.
Everything all right?
It's been crazy.
Okay, all right. So,
but I'm here.
You just flew in this morning, and boy, are
your
arms tired.
Oh my God!
Stop it.
Classic.
Can I just leave now?
Classic. No,
Oh my God.
we've got to sit here for 2 hours. You know, you can't.
She gets
you're
out
not going
early,
anywhere.
I get out early.
We'll see about that. Okay.
That's the best.
Let's get to our keys. We're going to have our Behind the Enemy Lines guest here joining us here in just a few minutes. But first things first. I mean, as the guys are in the locker room getting ready for the game, they need to know how to win, so we're going to tell them.
Why did you leave the keys up on the table? You wanted to.
You've waited all week for it.
The whole team's in the locker room right now just listening to this, waiting to hear what you're going to say.
Without these keys, the Patriots are destined and doomed to fail.
Here are Hardy, Paul, Mike, and Tamara's keys to the game.
Why did I steal your key to the game also? You have the key. You have the right one.
Keys to the game. Without these keys, the Patriots are doomed and destined to fail. But they will not, as long as they're paying attention right now. We begin with you, Mike Dussault, your key to today's game.
Yeah, hey Patriots, what's up? It's Deuce. Got your key here. I'm all about the big plays today. I think that's on defense, and you know, everybody I think has really good keys. I think they all fit together pretty well. My part of the pie though is just limiting the explosive plays. I think looking back, a couple years ago in that 2019 game, a lot of long runs. It's all connected for sure, but I think if they can, keep Lamar in the pocket and, make him kind of take the underneath stuff and not those deep over their head passes or even, those runs where he hits a crease and all of a sudden he's gone like last week for, 70 plus yards. If they can keep those plays down and maybe only give up 1, 2, maybe even none, who knows? I think they'll be in better shape. It seems like a non-starter for me. If they're long, big scoring strikes, it's going to be tough to keep pace with them if they're able to hit those plays.
You know what? It's such an obvious one, but it can't go without saying it. You can't allow those big plays. You can't allow this game to get away from you, and by limiting the big plays, I think you've got a better chance of this game not getting away from you today for the Patriots. That's a good key. It's a solid key.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Let's go clockwise. Let's go to Tamara.
So when Matt Morrell texted me to see what my key of the game was, I was like, I have to text back ASAP because what if Hardy chooses the same one and then I have to choose a different one because he beat me.
Goose, gander, all of it, yes.
You went to the well.
But my key is very Bill Belichick-y in the sense of do your job. I think that when it comes to stopping Lamar Jackson, it's not just going to be up to the defensive line to stop him when he's running. It's going to take literally everybody that's out there for the defense and not missing a bunch of open tackles. I'm really hoping that the secondary can do a great job tackling today because the defense is going to need everyone to be on their A game. So on the defense, I think I'm primarily speaking to them. Everyone is going to need to do their job. The offense, same thing. I'm hoping that, we can see a more confident Mac Jones. If his offensive line is doing the best they can to protect him, I'm hoping that he can, show us that he can be more confident. We haven't really seen that out of him so far this year. So I'm just hoping that literally every person that takes the field can do their job, and I feel so cringy saying that because Bill Belichick always does that, but I truly believe it today.
It's one of those games, Tamara, where we heard this from Belichick in the preseason and during camp. It's like, bad play. It's rare that everybody's doing poorly, one or two guys. You can't afford to have those one or two guys not doing their job today on a handful of plays. Everyone's got to do their job on every single play in order to get a win against a team like this. So I think it's maybe a little cringy when you're saying it or sending it back to Matt in a text, but it makes perfect sense. I think it's an honest, good key. All right, Paul.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big play element of this game can't be understated, can't be overstated, I should say. And it's all about, to me, containing Jackson in the pocket. I think if you sort of stay disciplined in your attack lanes on the pass rush especially, but even with, him on designed runs, you can't just let him dictate what he's going to do, or he will. And he's shown that he's on one of those kind of scorched earth tours right now where he's bet on himself and he's determined to up his value. So I think especially the guys on the edges, Matthew Judon, whether it's Jawan Bentley, Josh Uche, I don't know if Anthony Jennings, these guys need to make sure that they don't give him any avenues to escape. They have to contain him in the pocket, and then if you make him throw from the pocket, I think he's fine. I don't think he's useless if he has to throw from the pocket, but I don't think he's anywhere near as dangerous.
Yeah, it's the only way to kind of slow him down. I feel like it's just to make him take those short plays, but absolutely.
Yeah, and it's obviously easier said than done. I think he's got a lot of ways of escaping, but if you're disciplined and you kind of set those edges and you allow some of the shorter stuff, but keep them contained and don't allow a lot of lateral movement behind the line and let them loose, then I think they got a chance. For me, I mean, I just looked at the scores of these games for the first two games for the Ravens. 24 points in their win in their season opener, and then they scored 38 and lost to the Dolphins. So I think for them, limiting them, but more importantly for the Patriots, score 24. I think you're going to need 24 points to beat this team today. And that may be good enough for a tie. If you can somehow limit them through the things that you guys were talking about, limiting the big plays, containing Lamar Jackson, and, to some extent, what you're talking about, Tamara, just doing your job out there, hopefully, keep them to 20-23. Pretty much every prediction that I've seen that has the Patriots winning this game is a result of holding the Ravens to fewer points than they've scored in their first two games this year. But you're still going to have to score 24 points, I think, to win this game today. So figure out a way to get that offense working where you can move the ball, get yourself 3 touchdowns and a field goal today. That's what you're going to have to do. Talk about a simplistic, key to the game, Tamara. I mean, do your job, score 24 points. But I think that's what it's going to take. I mean, I can work myself into knots thinking about ways to get it done today. You're going to have to score 24 points.
Did you just pick 24 because it rhymes with score, or was that is that the number you landed on first?
100% the first thing. It's kind of like a Channel 7 alliteration, rhymey, pithy headline.
27.
But it's based on.
No, you're right.
But I think you need one more touchdown than what you've been able to put up on the board this year. The Pats scored 17 last week. Great. It's not going to be enough to beat the Ravens. You need one more touchdown in order to beat this team today, and you're going to have to limit or at least hold the Ravens to what they put up in week 1 as a benchmark. I think 24 is the magic number today for both sides of the ball.
Yeah, I think that speaks to even the bigger philosophy, I think, of the Patriots offense right now, which, there's plenty of talk about offensive play calling, play design, max development, like all that stuff. Great, we can talk about it, but ultimately points. Like, this team has to finish drive with scores, and I totally think you're right. I might even go to 27. I mean, I might think that might even be the magic number to get up and above 25. But I think you're right.
But how does that work
Scoring
into
points.
a pithy key?
I don't know. I can't think of something that rhymes with 7 right now that would say.
Score 27, you'll be in heaven. I don't know.
If I had a key like 0.5, like maybe 1.5 keys,
yeah,
I would say my next one would be to start fast. Like, if the Ravens get the ball first and they go down the field and their first drive score a touchdown, and then the Patriots aren't able to do that, and the Ravens go and score a touchdown again in their second drive, and then you're down 14-0, I think that could be a bad hole for the Patriots to get out of.
If I had 1.5 keys, I would have a wholesale street value of $22,500, and I would put that into some kind of, low yield, but oh yeah, you're talking
financial
about
advice.
Different, not kilos.
No,
keys.
I'm leaving.
Okay.
Leaving.
drugs are bad.
And stuff. I like
Do you want to talk to Patty before we go behind enemy lines?
No.
Oh,
Wow.
shots fired.
Okay.
No, I wanted to talk about some of the news that we've seen.
Yeah.
Pre-game here, looks like they're going to most likely be without Jacoby Myers.
Yeah.
One of obviously the lead receiver so far. Just curious, my esteemed panel,
Yeah,
what we think about
huge.
Very
that
sad.
absence.
I mean, I'm so curious how Mac's going to do it, because I think Jacoby's been his safety blanket and the got-to-have-it moments, and now today you're going to get a real good test against a defense that I think is getting healthier, and I think people are probably seeing last week's result and maybe having some kind of assumption of what this team might be, and I don't really think that's what they are. I think they're a lot better than that the end of that game showed, getting a little bit healthier too, but I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe expanded role for Kendrick Bourne, but I don't think you can understate what Jacoby Myers has meant to this offense through the first 2 weeks and where they would be without him in those 2 games. So I think it's a real big challenge for Mac Jones today.
I think about who is going to fill that role, and do they have somebody capable
it's gotta
of
be
filling
Bourne,
that role?
and I think it could be one of those blessing in disguises for the Patriots, because I think this could be an opportunity where the coaches are forced to give Bourne a bigger role, and then, assuming he has some success with it, which I think he will.
Okay.
Now you have Myers and Bourne together moving forward with Aguilar, and I think that's a better option than what you've done the first 2 games.
I heard this news this morning from, I think, obviously we knew about the practices this week. Him and Doug are missing time, and then Schefter said unlikely to play, and we'll get all the officials here a little bit later. But I thought to myself, what a strange circumstance we find ourselves in with the Patriots in 2022, where Jacoby Myers is unlikely to play today, and that forces a lot of people to go, oh, well, there you go. Like, really? I don't believe that. I don't
believe it either.
I'm
I
with
think
you,
that's
Paul. I think Kendrick Bourne can fill in, and I think as
one
good
thing
as
everyone's been saying is exactly that. Like, everyone's been saying they might not have like the number 1 go-to game-breaking receiver, but they have a lot of guys that can play.
Right.
So missing one shouldn't be an issue.
Shouldn't be an issue. And I'm not taking anything away from the way he's played in the first couple of weeks and how important he's been.
Oh, I think he's clearly their best receiver.
But
in my mind,
I also don't think game over if you don't have Jacob. No. You should be able to figure out a way to still move the ball, and whether it's with Bourne or whoever, filling that specific role that Myers has.
I disagree with you guys. I think it's big. I don't think you just throw Bourne or Aguilar in there. I don't think I think everyone says he loves Bourne, but I think he loves Bourne and down the field a little bit more. I don't see who's going to get open quick near the line of scrimmage, and even Myers. I think he has the ability to find holes, but I disagree with you guys. I think it's a really big deal.
So now the Patriots offense lives and dies by Jacoby Myers
on 3rd downs. Yeah, I don't have time to pull it up right now, but Mac's going to have to figure something different today.
Well,
he's got to do
since
something
8
different.
o'clock this morning. You maybe should have prepped it.
I didn't realize you guys were going to have this take that Jacoby Myers, meh.
I didn't say meh. I said that the strength of their receiving core is that they have 4 guys that are basically the same.
But are they, though?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Well, how do you know?
Not when you get into the nitty gritty. I think if you lined them up of like, well, we're getting back to 2s and 3s and 4s talk again.
3s.
But I still think that Jacoby Myers stands out amongst these guys, especially in the gotta have it moments. I don't know where Mac's going to go in the gotta have it moments today.
I think
maybe he'll just hold the ball.
When I look at Mac Jones, and we haven't really seen him play confident as confident as he did last year when he started off the season.
Yep.
But when he's thrown to Jacoby Myers, he's confident that Jacoby will get the ball and make a play. Obviously, Jacoby's had like a few drops, not many, but I think that when it comes to him, he knows that like if I need to get it to someone on third down, it's him, and I know it's going to happen. Whereas with Kendrick, of course, he knows that, sure, Kendrick can probably catch the ball and make a play, but it's not the same like comfortability.
I just think on a percentage basis, snaps on the field, he throws the ball to Bourne as often as he does Myers. Just Bourne's not on the field. Today, I think he's going to have to be. Now, if they still insist it's going to be little Jordan Humphrey and Devontae Parker, now I'm with Deuce. Now I'm in panic mode.
And maybe incorporate some more, passes to the running backs.
Yep.
When I was speaking with James White yesterday.
Oh my gosh.
Like personally?
Personal, yeah. I mean, there was a crowd of a few hundred at a Dick's Sporting Goods in Natick while we were having our conversation. But, very close to each other. Closer than Paul and I are now. I mean, we were close. I said, who's filling that role for you? He goes, do you worry about that? He said, no, you got Ramondre. Ramondre can catch the ball.
Ramondre.
I'm like, okay. Meh. You know what? I'm kind of done with you today.
Fine.
I'd rather
spunky.
I'd rather go behind enemy lines and take any more of your guff.
You know the view from New England.
We go behind enemy lines.
But what about the view from the other side?
And that's why you're our favorite pregame show guest every year.
You guys know you tell everybody that.
Oh, yeah.
I was on with you guys in 2018 Thursday Night Football.
Yep.
And I was told I was the favorite guest of the show.
Nope.
No.
Time now to go behind enemy lines.
My God, it's coming right for us.
Joining us now from BaltimoreRavens.com, Clifton Brown. You can follow him on Twitter at Clifton G. Brown. Clifton, thanks for being on the Patriots Pregame Show here with Hardy, Mike Dussault, Tamara Brown, and Paul Perillo. How you doing, Clifton?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for having me. How are you guys?
We're doing well. We're just sitting here thinking about how it actually now finally feels like football. Maybe it felt like football for you last weekend, but for us, a couple of road games to start finally here at Gillette, some crisp autumn air. Today feels like football, Clifton.
Right, yeah. I mean, we spent so much time during the preseason talking about things, and now, we're fully underway. And, the Patriots, I'm sure, obviously opening at home, want to open with a win. So it should be an interesting game today, I think.
Hey, Clifton, I just want to get your general take on the state of the defense. I mean, I know Peters and Humphrey are supposed to be back today and playing. Last week maybe colored things a little bit a certain way, but what's your feeling right now and confidence level in this defense?
Well, not as confident as you would be certainly before last week's game. The communication breakdowns in the secondary were really costly to the Ravens last week. They basically gave the Dolphins 2 touchdowns. Blew a 21-point lead in the fourth quarter, gave up 28 points in the fourth quarter. So, obviously the Patriots have looked at that. They're going to try, I think, and do some things to cause more confusion in the secondary and see if they can get some cheap scores. And the Ravens are going to cut that out, giving up easy touchdowns to win the game today. So it'll be interesting to see if they've been able to solve their problem or if the Patriots find a way to exploit it.
With Ronnie Stanley not making the trip to New England, do you sense any panic, or are you comfortable with the Ravens without him on the offensive line?
Well, they miss Ronnie. I mean, he's one of the best left tackles, if not the best in football. And I think not having him so far is a big reason why they can't get their running game going. Other than Lamar, their running backs really aren't generating, much of an attack there with their running game. So J.K. Dobbins, if he were to play today, that might help a little. But, Ronnie Stanley is a big piece that they're missing. They protected Lamar well, the offensive line has. But, again, they haven't been able to run the football. So I think the Patriots are going to try and make them one-dimensional again and then hope that Lamar, can't beat them with his arm.
Do you think that maybe the return of J.K. Dobbins, assuming that he's actually go, I know that's where all the reports indicate, might he inject a little life in that running game, or has it strictly been about the guys up front?
Well, he certainly could. I mean, J.K. is a heck of a back now. We haven't seen him play in over a year. And I think it'd be a lot to ask his first game back for him to be, a guy who's going to really show out today and, have an 80, 100-yard game. I do think the Ravens, if he plays, aren't going to, have him have more than 10 touches. So I think they're going to try and ease him in and ramp him up. But he can provide a spark for sure. And, Greg Roman, the strength of his means to pop some running game plays. And the better the Ravens run the football, obviously the better their chances to win, because once they start doing that, and then you have Lamar back there, and now they have a deep throwing attack, I think that is better, they become difficult to stop. So Dobbins coming back would help to answer your question, but I still don't think the Ravens are at a point now where their running game is where they want to be and where they hope it will be later in the season.
Clifton Brown from BaltimoreRavens.com on with us right now. We look at things from the Patriots side all week, and we look at Lamar Jackson. We look at all the ways that, they can – What's the other side look like? As you guys are looking to the Patriots, it's a little different feel than it has been in years past. The Ravens are coming into Gillette as 2.5-point favorites. Is there anything in terms of the conversation you've heard this week saying like, yeah, the Patriots are still dangerous because of this or because of that?
Yeah, I think that they still have a lot of respect for the Patriots, knowing that, it's still a Bill Belichick coach team. They feel their defense is good. The Patriots haven't scored a lot of points, and I think that might be where the Ravens feel good about their chances is, look, if we don't make the mistakes in the secondary we made last week and make the Patriots earn what they get, they shouldn't be able to go off on us offensively and run away from us that way. So, yeah, but on the flip side, I think that they feel that the Patriots are going to try and control the football, keep Lamar off the field, try and come up with some things to confuse Lamar, from the pocket, eliminate some of the deep plays the Ravens have had, and make it, a close, ugly game in the fourth quarter that either side has a chance to win. So after losing last week, the Ravens know they can't afford to go 1-2 with the Buffalo Bills on their schedule next week. So it's a big game for them.
Just got to ask you one specifically to Lamar. I mean, just how have you seen his development this year as he's going into, a contract year for him?
Yeah, he looks as good as he's ever had to be. I mean, he's patient in the pocket. His fundamentals, footwork are great. Getting week one against the Jets, the Ravens struggled in the first half offensively. I did not see Lamar get frustrated, and then the second half he throws 3 touchdown passes. Last week he had a phenomenal performance. The Ravens really wasted a great game for Lamar, losing that game. So, to me, he's as good as he's ever been. There's been so much talk about the contract, but I really don't think it's affecting him in any way once he's on the field. So he's the Patriots' biggest problem today, Lamar Jackson. He's the type of player who can beat you. And, Belichick, I'm sure, and the coaching staff has spent the majority of their time is trying to figure out how to slow him down, because as we saw last week, even when you hold him down for a little bit, as both a runner and a thrower, he's always possibly one play away from making a big play.
All right, Clifton, we always ask our Behind the Enemy Lines guests for a score prediction. Do you have one for today?
If I had to predict, I think the Ravens will win a close one. I'm going to say something maybe like 20-14. I think the Patriots are going to play well defensively, and I think it's going to be one of those games that's decided in the fourth quarter. But, again, I think Lamar Jackson is going to be a difference maker. I just think that he's going to come up with a play or two that gets the Ravens out of there with a win.
All right, Clifton, at Clifton G. Brown on Twitter, BaltimoreRavens.com. Thanks for the time. Enjoy the game.
Thanks for having me. You guys have a good one.
Okay, thanks. You
Thanks,
too.
Clifton.
There he goes. Kind of touched on a lot of the stuff that we talked about in our keys there about limiting the plays and
yeah,
things
and
like
I think
that.
the two questions that were on my mind were, Mike, you talked about, basically the question is the Ravens defense closer to what the fourth quarter collapse showed us or what we think of the Ravens defense?
Yeah.
And he was kind of in the middle there. I thought his answer was like, I don't think that that's indicative of what they are, but I'm not sure. They had some communication issues and breakdowns, and John Harbaugh talked about those all week. And on the flip side, like, why can't they run the ball at all? They can't run it at all.
Yeah.
And he's telling you that, yes, they miss Ronnie Stanley, but they're struggling to run the ball, and it's all on Lamar. So if they can't run the ball at all today, the way they've been running it, this is on the season. Kenyon Drake, 17 carries, 39 yards. That's 2.3 a carry.
Oh.
You know, in 2 games. Like, if they can't run it a little better than that, you're asking Lamar to do it all. And I'm not sure Lamar can just go out and do it all against the Patriots. I think Belichick will figure out a way to at least, you know, represent a speed bump out there and get in their way a little bit.
There's something to that, too. We talk about it a lot. Like, you know, Belichick is, you know, the best at not letting that one guy beat you. And obviously that one guy is Lamar Jackson, but it seems to make more sense when we're talking about a receiver or a running back, you know, a weapon. If you can key in on the quarterback and maybe stop him, I don't know which way it goes, but it's rare than, you know, when we talk about not letting that one guy beat you, that guy is the quarterback who can run the ball, who can complete. So he's thrown for 550 some yards in 2 games, 6 touchdowns. I think he's had 1 pick. I mean, he is the guy that got them the win. He is the guy that should have gotten them the win last week. And, you know, he's the guy you can't let beat you. I don't know if it's more difficult or if it's easier because he's going to have the ball in his hands on every single offensive snap.
It's like the ultimate test of it because he can do anything.
Yeah,
I mean, he can do it himself. He can give it to somebody else who can do it. He can throw it down the field. You know, I just think to Paul's point, I mean, the last few years we've talked so much about the run defense. And, you know, in some ways I think you go back to that 2019 game against the Ravens where they were undefeated. They went in. They gave up, you know, 210 rushing yards to them, a lot of big plays on the ground. I don't think it's as simple of a game as stop the run, but I do think that this is a little bit of a test that we're feeling a little better about the run defense here through the first couple of weeks. But I think this Ravens team, even with banged up, even with some of the issues that Paul pointed out, I think it's another really good test for them. It's a unique test with Lamar Jackson, but I think it's a good test nonetheless. And the same thing I would say for the Ravens on the flip side. For this to, you know, the Patriots defense playing pretty well. I think they'll have a pretty good plan, at least on paper, for what they want to do to Lamar. And I think that will tell you a lot about the Ravens, too, as well. I think you'll learn a lot between those two sides of the ball when they go against each other today.
Now, it's weird when you talk about breakdowns in the secondary. If it happens early on in a game, then maybe you can brush it off. It's a communication thing. When it's multiple times late in a game where you've managed to score a lot of points, to me, that's indicative of something worse. That's not just a communication breakdown. It's like, oh, maybe they're just not that good back there. And that obviously that would be good news for the Patriots today.
Yeah, I'm thinking like either fatigue or lack of discipline or maybe a little bit of both. Or like you said, maybe the Miami Dolphins just made some adjustments and were able to exploit the Ravens secondary in the 4th quarter.
Yeah,
I don't know what it was, but
I think it was injuries. I think when Humphrey went out and they communicated because no one got beat. No one covered him. Like, it was amazingly bad defense. Like, Tyreek Hill is not, he's not Harry Schmedlap, as we used to say at the Herald.
Yeah, yes, he's a little better.
He's a little better than that. He's a guy that's got the attention of the other team's defensive coordinator, and he just completely ran by everybody twice. No one followed him twice in the 4th quarter with a 21-point lead. Like, basically, the only way you can lose the game is you know what, I'll be all right if I just make them take 8 plays to go 60 yards. Instead, they let them go 1 play 60 yards.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, you can't win like that. You know, and it was kind of a funny week. It happened all over football last week. Cleveland did the same thing with Corey Davis. They just didn't cover him. 66-yard touchdown. That allowed him to get the onside kick. You know, the breakdowns that the Ravens had were all in the 4th quarter of that game, and I think Clifton Brown's answer was interesting. I don't think it's an issue, but you know, we'll see.
It's a little bit a combination of things of you know, it's a couple mental mistakes of miscommunication, but you just so happen to be playing the team with some of the most explosive 2 receivers in the game, and that can make you pay like that.
In
like
a weird way, though, that made it worse to me.
Right?
Like if
you know who's on the field.
Like if the and I say this with respect, like these guys are all NFL players, but the Patriots don't have that kind of explosiveness. If Jacoby Myers or Devontae Parker or Nelson Aguilar got behind everybody, I would say, well, no kidding. Like they're slamming up on those shallow crosses they've been killing us with all day. You know, everything's been run at the sticks, and they hit us. They hit us with one, and we weren't ready for it. Tyreek Hill is doing nothing but trying to run.
All they can do is big plays.
That's all he's trying to do is run by you, and you let him run by you like unattended. Like no one was near him.
Don't even attend.
You had one job.
He was like completely tendedless.
Yeah.
So I want to go to the Patriots secondary now. Do we think Jalen Mills is going to play today, or
seems like a game time decision?
Something to watch. Something to watch. He popped up with a hamstring injury. I think it was Friday. It might have been the last day.
What did I learned you something on this, didn't I?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? In your short time here, always be aware of the injuries that get added during the week. That means something happened at practice.
Okay.
Yeah, hamstring. So
he popped up on the injury report Friday with a hamstring. Thursday.
And then I'm seeing reports of him going through a pregame workout right now.
Yeah, he's going to be a game-time decision, I think. And we'll find out in about, 15 minutes?
Yeah, and talking this week, too, about, matchups and stuff with potentially Duggar being out. So that, I think he was really a key piece against this Ravens team a couple years ago in 2020. And I think not to having Duggar hurts. And, we were talking, Evan, about, maybe they use Mills on Andrews, stick the Jones boys, Jonathan and Jack, on the outside, maybe to deal with a little bit of those speed guys on the outside. But I think if Mills can't go, it definitely affects things with it, and Duggar too. Those two together, two physical, guys that can tackle in the secondary that you'd really like to have today, I think.
It'll be okay. Pat and Agawam. Let's get to Cousin Patty here. What's going on? You're on the Patriots Pregame Show, fueled by Dunkin. What's up?
Morning, gentlemen.
How we doing?
And
Tamara.
Hi.
You.
I said and Lady Hardy.
All right.
So you're right, Hardy. It's going to be all right now. I don't know why. I just have this feeling today that points are going to be scored on the New England side. And like the late, great Lawrence Tierney from Reservoir Dogs said, you don't need proof when you got instinct. And fun fact, he played Elaine's father on Seinfeld, too. So I'm seeing sort of
Scary
like a
dude.
vintage Belichickian defensive scheme to not to shut down the Ravens, but to sort of hold them in check. And I think we get a touchdown on defense or special teams. I'm picking the Patriots today, 31-20. Let's freaking go, baby.
All right, thank you very much. My throat is so sore from hollering at you guys.
Could have been have fun by scoring 31, something like that.
I do appreciate that positivity and that energy.
I'm feeling a little positivity today, too, and I feel like it might be slightly irrational, but I don't know. I feel kind of good about this game. I don't know why.
He's a study in contrast, this guy. Jacoby Myers out.
Jacoby Myers ended his whole life. Like, he went, and I love Jacoby Myers, as you know that. Yeah, but, like, the dark look on his face when, you guys, I disagree.
They're going to overcome it. They're going to overcome it.
But, otherwise,
that's what we said, and you disagreed with us, and now you're saying, I got a good feeling about the game. They're going to score 50. I mean, what is it with you?
I didn't say 50, but.
How many turnovers would it take from Baltimore for the Patriots to score 50?
7.
Stop it. But I have to say, though, I do like the whole thing of you're now forced to kind of more involve guys, and maybe it'll provide some new insight or get guys going. So I do like that portion of it. I think
you
it's
spend more than 2 decades at Patriots.com, you learn to find the positive side of things. And I think this can be a blessing in disguise.
I'll get there
I really do.
Paul.
I'm not trying to put on like a Sunshine.com act. I think it's going to force them to get Kendrick Bourne involved. And I think that in the long run will help the receiving core. It'll add another good receiver to the mix who has been relatively silent the first 2 weeks.
I wouldn't be opposed to a Kendrick Bourne that played against the Dallas Cowboys. Wouldn't be opposed to that.
Big plays. Could use it.
I wouldn't be opposed.
I'm just walking this line of not saying, I don't mean this in any way to be somehow a dig or, a slam on Jacoby Myers. I think what he does is completely replaceable by some of the guys that you have right now. Maybe not the exact same way, but what he does in terms of yardage and actual being an actual weapon. Like he's good. He's not irreplaceable.
Yeah.
You can figure out a way to make up for what you lose.
He's been their most reliable receiver.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody that would argue against that.
But almost by default.
Right. It doesn't mean that he is Justin Jefferson.
Yes. Like, I would say.
So mad right
they're
now.
all
He's
kind,
so
I would
mad
say
right
I think
now.
they're all kind of the same.
I think Jacoby shows up and he does his job every single time that he's out there. Like, he's never playing 50%.
And you're just trying to get it back to your key, which is fine.
He is doing his job every single time. Every single time. Sure, he doesn't wow you. Like, he's not Tyreek Hill. He doesn't do that. But he does his job.
Because He's the only guy in the schedule. He was the only guy in the schedule in the first week. Yeah,
this
he's
is the
doing his
beauty
job.
of not having stars. When you're missing a guy, it doesn't really matter. They're all the same. No, they will miss Jacoby Myers. I'm not telling. I don't want this to be sort of misinterpreted in the post-game show when the offense, does what it did in the first 2 weeks and doesn't move the ball consistently or score. I don't want people to say, "Oh, I thought we weren't going to miss Jacoby Myers." My point is, they can score 7 points with Jacoby Myers or without him. Yeah. If they were scoring 32 and Jacoby Myers was the leading receiver, now you have to prove to me that you can do it without the guy that's doing all the work.
Right. And Jacoby Myers
You're not scoring any points. You have 24 points in 2 games, the lowest total since 2001 through the first 2 games of the season.
Jacoby Myers is doing his job, but Kendrick Bourne got called the morning of work and said, actually, we don't need you today. So, that's what, yes, how can I do my job when, they don't even put me on the schedule? That's kind of how I feel about the first game. So, give him a chance.
I am wondering with Jacoby out if we'll see more receptions from the tight ends today, considering last week they had 0.
It's a good question, too.
And how many weeks there was a little bit of Judon talk, I think, earlier in the week, but Hunter Henry, we gonna get something today? Can we incorporate
one target last week, right?
Yeah. One target, on the pay no mind list, all of a sudden, out of nowhere. Now maybe it just didn't fit whatever they were seeing defensively last week. Maybe they just couldn't, make it work for what the Steelers were showing. But when you're scoring, as Paul just mentioned, a total of 24 points through 2 games, well, whatever you were doing, wasn't exactly setting the world on fire. So maybe you could have incorporated some more tight end play.
Yeah, I'm curious how they're going to walk that line. I feel like I hope that they're going to come out and kind of spread that out a little bit and not just kind of line up and try to run right into. I think they usually respect Baltimore's front generally. So I don't know. I mean, is LJ Humphrey going to be involved a little bit more? They have a lot of pieces that they can go different directions with. But I think it's too bad you don't have somebody like Thornton today. A little bit of that speed element to bring in. I mean, that would be the exciting one if. With Myers out, as much as you want to see a little more Bourne, I mean, that would be ideal, would be to get Thornton out there. But I don't know. 2 tight ends, are they going to play both of those guys, or are they going to, lean into maybe giving Hunter Henry, spreading him out a little bit more and letting him, go to work a little bit on the coverage, perhaps? I
thought it was interesting in Nick Haley's press conference this week, and Evan challenged him with multiple questions. He said, is it on purpose that the tight ends didn't get any receptions? Was that the game plan? And he kind of avoided answering it and was just like, well, we got the win, so we're comfortable with how everything played out. And it's okay, but that didn't really answer the question.
Yeah.
It's...
But, I mean, it's hard because at the same time, you really like seeing Aguilar have, a nice game and be used in a variety of ways. And I mean, I think of everything today, that would be what I would be looking for, is to continue to kind of get Aguilar involved. And can he, not to say that he needs to have another 100-yard receiving game, but I think if they can move him around a little bit more and try to challenge some matchups on the inside, that they might be able to continue that kind of streak with Aguilar.
Yeah, I think the Hunter Henry thing is interesting because he was such a big part of what they did last year, and so far it's been a little quiet. Maybe this is the impetus to figure out a way to get
and to your point, Paul, in this week, I mean, the red zone stuff, right? They just haven't really been down there,
They haven't.
Yeah.
They've been in the red zone twice.
They got into Miami territory a certain number of times. Bill talked about that.
I think 5 times.
Yeah.
Once even to the 50. Then they took over on the 43 on that drive, but
ouch.
We're in Miami territory. What we're doing territory stats now?
I told you during our post-game show after the Miami game, my immediate reaction after listening to this was Ogilvy from the Bad News Bears. And we did hit 17 foul balls. It was stunning. It was stunning to hear Bill talk like that. And I know, again, I wrote about it that week in the notes, the NFL notes that week. I think I have an idea of what he's thinking and talking about and just trying to keep everybody positive, confidence. Because I think they're struggling with confidence on the offensive side of the ball, and I think he understands that.
I think so. I think you're absolutely right. Let's get some more. Was that your napkin? You were giving me a look when I took the napkin. Can I use this napkin?
It's too late. You've already taken it.
My cup is sweating.
So is mine. We all have cups.
But you weren't using the napkin.
It's not the wood. It's not wood, though. You're not going to leave a stain, so don't worry about it.
Could you have LePan run out and get us some coasters? And I would like them from like a nice, like Williams-Sonoma.
Ooh.
Like nice coasters.
Those are some good coasters.
And Target
Grabbing his
coasters.
keys.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, let's class this place up a little bit. Adrian in California on the Patriots Pregame Show, fueled by Dunkin. What's up, Adrian?
Yo, Adrian.
I knew it. I knew you were going to do it.
You're welcome.
No.
No.
Now I'm going to hang up.
No, Adrian.
No, Adrian. Can't hear Adrian. Sounds like Adrian's not that. Sounds like it's almost not potted up, but that. I don't know. Let's try Steve in New York.
They just accused me of not doing your job.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hold on 1 second, Steve. You're kind of not doing your job because there are still no coasters in here. I asked for them 45 seconds ago. So.
Asked LePan for him 45 seconds ago.
Excellent point, Matt. I stand corrected, and I apologize. Steve in New York, now you can go.
I mean, what kind of operation are we running here with no coasters?
I have no idea.
Mickey Mouse.
What the heck?
Watch the language.
Yeah. For today's game, I'm looking to see. I really just want to see Mac just show some improvement. I think the criticisms against him are valid. I think people, yes, he has new coaches and new system and all that, and give you a caveat. That's great, but I want to see some, at least a little bit of improvement week to week. And I think Paul's one said it, he really didn't play great in either game, and I would agree with that, except for that last 6 minutes or that drive, which was really good. I thought the team showed that they can close out a game, which is something they didn't do last year. So let's hope that they continue that. And I wonder about the run game. Did anybody tell Joe Judge to stop going in front of the line if it's going to be a throw, or in the back of the line if it's going to be a run? Because I remember he did that in preseason. You guys had noticed that?
Oh, I don't remember that.
I don't remember.
No,
he was tipping his plays?
That was on the practice field, right?
Oh, it was in the practice.
Oh, yeah.
Depending on where he was, yeah. I don't think that's.
Something like that.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's something I guess we can keep an eye on. I thought that was something where he stood, on the field. When the coaches are behind the offense, and he stood at one place when it was a pass and one place when it was a run. But I don't know.
Don't scare
so,
me.
How do you guys, in terms of the rest of the offense, have you guys seen, are they still down on themselves? Do you guys feel that they're still upset with coaching, or do you think that they're coming around?
I mean, it can be whatever you want it to be. I mean, I think it's at this point they got to score more points, and you can break down all the film and do all that stuff but they got to score points. And
Steve, thanks for the call, buddy. Here's what I'll say: the last drive against Pittsburgh, you could make that would be your. I'm afraid your one and only exhibit to point toward making the case of the offense is coming around. They put together a good drive.
Is that what they want to be? Do you think that's they found out what they can do, and that's what they're going to try to be?
I don't know
well, they ran the ball 11 plays in a row. I don't think you can do that.
Paul,
and score points.
Okay, let me explain it to you. For someone who's been around Patriots.com for 4 years,
too many years,
right? They were taking what the defense was giving them. Okay.
No, I think the last drive was an excellent drive by the offense. I just don't think you can line up in the NFL every week and expect to be 75% run and expect to score points.
My real
That's
answer.
all I'm saying.
Okay, my real answer to Steve though is no. I don't think they've figured anything out yet.
I would.
No,
But if you wanted to make that case, you'd say, well, they needed a drive at the end of the last game, and they managed to stay on the
and
field.
That is the blueprint for them winning games. It's one thing I slightly disagree with what Steve said. They couldn't do that last year. No, they did that every time last year. When they got the lead, they kept it.
Yeah.
When they won games, they got out in front. They protected the lead and they won. All the games they lost, they fell behind. To Tamara's point earlier, if Baltimore gets off to a quick start, it's generally been game, set, match.
Yeah, I think last week was such a specific. I love that they closed the game out at the end. But do you feel like, let's go out at the start of the Ravens game and we're going to run at 11 straight plays and try to go down? It just doesn't seem to match. I like to spread it out, throw to score, run to win. I love that philosophy, and I think they executed it well. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what they're finding today.
And I loved the 6:33. That's textbook. That's what you want to be. You want to be running the ball, getting rid of the clock, and not having to worry about your defense coming up with a stop. That's how you want it done.
Right.
And I'll also say, and being more specific and score more points, not just field goals. Like, it needs to be more touchdowns. Like,
get in the
way
red
too
zone,
many
put
field
drives
goals.
together, some consistency. Yeah, I mean, it's to the last caller's point of Mac, I mean, last week the contested catch went that way, and 2 weeks ago went the other way. It was very similar,
Look, the season is very much, wide open. You're 1-1. Having said that, I think with this team and the way they've performed so far, not only scoring a few more touchdowns and field goals, how about going for it on 4th down at midfield? Things like that. And I would say it's much different this week if you're giving the ball over to Lamar Jackson, at midfield. But last week, like, really? You're not going to give the ball to Mitchell Trubisky on the 50? I think you're okay doing that. I have enough faith in you to do that. Let's take a couple of chances offensively and see what happens. Because, as Paul said, just running the ball, that's not going to win you a ton of football games. And you're going to need to do some special things on offense today in order to get a win. We got to step aside. Jose in Texas and Tony in Canada will be up next as we continue here. You're welcome to join us, 855-PATS-500. We'll get to your emails here, too, webradio@patriots.com. I'm also here to tell you about NFL All Day. All your favorite Patriots highlights become digital video collectibles called Moments. Not only can you buy and sell them on a secure marketplace full of thousands of NFL fans, but you can also use them to compete in epic game day challenges. Check it out. Find some moments from all your favorite Pats players on NFLAllDay.com.
TouchView Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, TouchView also offers a built-in VC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
Patriot Place is the region's #1 shopping, dining, and entertainment destination. Shop your favorites, including Vineyard Vines, Express, Olympia Sports, Petco, and more. Enjoy dining at one of our 19 restaurants, including 6 String Grill and Stage, Scorpion Bar, and Bar Louie. And don't forget about the entertainment. Explore your inner artist at Muse Paint Bar, watch a movie at Showcase Cinema Deluxe, or grab a controller and start gaming at Helix Esports. For a complete directory listing, please visit patriot-place.com.
In sports, if you think joy only happens after you win, think again. Look at the world's most successful athletes like Serena Williams, Brooks Koepka, and Alex Morgan. They don't spend all their days grinding away. They take time to enjoy themselves, like getting together with friends over a Michelob Ultra, because they know that happiness is the key to winning, and that joy is the whole game, not just the end game. Michelob Ultra. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
There's no season better than football season. And there's no better place to get in on all of the action than with DraftKings, the official daily fantasy sports partner of the New England Patriots. To add to the thrill, DraftKings has millions of dollars in prizes up for grabs every week. So head to the app now and check it out. If you haven't tried it yet, fantasy football is easy to play. Just pick 9 players, stay under the salary cap, and pile up points for yards, touchdowns, receptions, and so much more. There's no better way to put your football knowledge to the test than to compete for a shot at $1 million in total prizes. Download the DraftKings app now and use promo code PATS to get a shot at millions of dollars in total prizes every week. That's promo code PATS to get a shot at millions of dollars in total prizes every week, only at DraftKings. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Some people are never content with simply being good. Not when they can be great. But it takes a big step to get there. In fact, it takes a leap of faith, a belief in what you're striving toward, and a willingness to make the commitment, day in and day out, to something bigger than yourself. Putnam is proud to partner with those who share their own commitment to performance excellence. This is Matt Light for Putnam Investments, a world of investing.
Johnny, you funny.
Join the conversation by calling the Ace Ticket hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at webradio@patriots.com.
Yeah, well, you know what? Joke's on you, Tamara, because I decided your key sucks.
Live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, here's Hardy.
Oh, I bet I know what it was, because all I heard was the word sucks, and I think it was when I told Tamara her key sucked.
It's not that funny. Okay? It's not that funny.
You know what? Here's why it was funny, okay?
You're just mad because I beat you to it and I said it first.
The look of surprise and hurt on your face made it all worth it. Like, oh.
So sadistic.
I just took one sip of Tamara's pain and I found it exquisite. Oh, it's wonderful.
I wish everyone could see my eye roll that's like listening via car.
They can feel it, I'm
yeah,
sure.
Yeah. No, your silence speaks volumes.
Anything
we want to talk about while Paul's out of the room? Cat's away, mice can play. Anything at all? You know?
Yeah, why is Paul so
offensive
mad?
line.
Yeah.
He would hate that.
Do you want to talk offensive line?
Offensive line.
No.
Well, we can bang out the inactives real quick. Just
we should do that. Yes.
Jacoby Myers, Kyle Duggar, Sam Roberts, Raekwon McMillan, Bailey Zappi, and Sean Wade. So as we discussed earlier, Duggar and Myers being out, significant guys who have played big roles here through the first 2 weeks. So a couple guys maybe to highlight then. Otherwise that are being active. Josh Bledsoe. Going to get a chance. He's been on the injury report a little bit too, but with that safety depth, he might be called in action. Marcus Jones getting a chance last week. Miles Bryant had that that punt, almost a punt muff. Some point I'd love to see Marcus Jones get a chance to return kicks. He was awesome at it in college. Kind of felt like it was only a matter of time till he was the lead punt returner on this team. So we'll see if he gets a chance today, and otherwise just the 4 receivers: Parker, Aguilar, Bourne, Humphrey, just those 4. So we'll see how the snaps kind of get divided up, and if Kendrick Bourne gets a chance to contribute.
I won't even bother asking because I'm gonna be outvoted 2-1. But when Paul gets back, I'm just gonna ask him who he feels more concerned about being out today, Duggar or Jacoby. I know both of you are gonna say Jacoby Myers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little more concerned about Kyle Duggar being out facing Lamar Jackson.
I just feel like the safety depth is better, but I don't think you can understate Duggar being out. I think I think of all the safeties, he's the best suited for this kind of game just because of his speed and his physicality. Nothing against Peppers or Phillips. I think they're good too. I'm excited to see Peppers get a little bit more of an expanded role, but two big blows for sure. I mean, I think both those guys' absences are gonna be issues that they have to kind of work around.
All right, let's go to Jose in Texas on the Patriots Pregame Show, fueled by Dunkin. Jose, what's going on? Jose? I don't know what happens, I just know that somewhere Fred Kirsch is just, chuckling.
At least it's not the busy signal. I mean,
maybe
he's just on call waiting or something.
It's Morrell making sport of me right
fault.
now. Tony in Canada never leaves. He's always there. Thank you for being there, Tony. What's up?
You can count on me.
Thank you.
It's Tony from Canada there.
Yeah.
I was thinking, Hardy, I don't know about Jose, but for Adrian, I was going to say you should have did your Rocky Balboa. Adrian.
Yeah,
Adrian.
Deuce did it.
He didn't like it. He felt like it was just a layup.
I thought it was
easy layup.
I thought it was too easy, and I think
Yeah.
Deuce is better than that.
Okay, sorry, I didn't hear it. Anyway, real quick, a couple thoughts here about the game. It's not a good matchup. You know how they say fights or matchups make fights. There's only 2 teams that have scored less points than New England this year. One of them is Dallas. So as far as scoring goes, we're on the bottom. And in terms of Baltimore, I think there's only 4 teams. Kansas City, Buffalo are 2 of them. Only 4 teams that actually have scored more points than Baltimore. So it's not a good matchup for us. I'm not really that optimistic. I think if we go behind by 2 scores, even 7 points, it might be too much. But anyway, can I ask you guys a question? I watched Vince Wilfork, his retirement, or not retirement, but induction ceremony. I was really impressed by it. I want to know what you guys think about. I saw the Lombardi Trophy, the one that was dented, and I didn't think the dent was that big, but actually it is. And I'm wondering, has any of the Patriots brass said anything to you about it? Like, share privately what you thought about it, whether they liked it or not, like whether it gave it some history or character, or whether they didn't really like that. And any plans that they would fix it? Because I noticed it was really bad. I want to know what you guys think or what you've heard.
Well, thanks for the question, Tony. I know nothing about it.
No one's confided in me of the true feelings of the Super Bowl dent. But I think it's kind of funny that one of them has a dent in it. I mean, of course, Rob Gronkowski did it, so I don't know. As far as I see it, it's kind of nice to have one of them with a little bit of character in it, I guess.
I think it's fine. And
dang it, Rob. I mean, couldn't they get like a suction cup and like pop it out if they really wanted to?
I tried that once when I had a small door ding and I bought a small plunger.
Did that work?
Not at all.
No.
Not at all.
They make it look so easy on TV where like someone's whole side of their like back rear end of their car is all dented in, and then they just kind of like glue some plastic on it, and then it just pop right out. Oh, normal. Like that never happens.
Well, that's something I learned from watching Pawn Stars too. Is if you repair a piece of like historical memorabilia, you can ruin the value of it. If you're cleaning old coins or if you undent a dented Super Bowl trophy, it's like, no, that's what made it unique and valuable.
Right. Yeah, and that one stands out. How would you know the other ones except for the engraving?
Right.
Which ones they were?
Right.
Can I take a quick aside along these lines? So I feel very proud of myself. I had my rear door tailgate button broke, and so I was looking at having to get that fixed. And like, oh, it's gonna be like $500. You go to the dealer. Did it myself, $12, eBay, bought a new button, took the door up, put the panel off, replaced the plug, and it works
Bob the
great.
Builder.
I know, but I've never feel more accomplished in my life than, thank you. I'd like to thank the Academy. But I never feel more accomplished than when I fix something in my car for like peanuts that would have, take you to the dealer and they're gonna, take you for every last cent. So
Here's what gives it real
my thing today.
value is when you do it in the driveway in the middle of the day so that neighbors can see you.
My neighbor was next door. He's like, oh, that doesn't look good. I was like, don't you worry, Aaron. I got this.
That's right.
No problem.
Aaron.
About 15 minutes, Aaron. Don't worry.
Half man.
Meanwhile, no, he's like a construction guy who's like driving a tractor around his backyard doing things that I could never do. So at least I lined up a little bit.
Back to more important topics.
Thank you.
The wide receiver room.
Oh.
So, question. I love how all of us were quick to mention, okay, we talked about Jacoby, the impact it'll have. We talked about, okay, maybe this means more for Bourne. Maybe the tight ends will see more. We haven't talked about Devontae Parker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't really seen him do anything besides
Camp.
He's been involved in those plays. Yes,
saw him a lot
outside
in
of camp. Saw him a lot of camp. He was great in camp. I don't know if it's, have we not seen him because of the interceptions that have happened when the ball was thrown his way, or?
Well, I'd connect it just as much to Hunter Henry and the lack of time in the red zone. I can't overstate it. The first 2 days of camp, like, they were going to Parker throw after throw after throw, especially in the red zone. I mean, that's where they started off camp. They were down in the red zone a ton. And they clearly are enamored with him in contested catches, and that's what he can do. I mean, he's, called them 80-20 balls in the past. I know that. But it is a skill set that he has. Now, I, along with many other people, don't think that this is like, this is a bread and butter part of our offense that we're going to run every single time. And I think maybe a little bit to their detriment, they've been a little bit too intrigued by that. But I think once they start getting into the red zone, if they're able to move the ball a little bit better, that he'll be able to exploit those matchups. But I think those are tough ones with down the field, where Mac's heaving it.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be dead on target, and it's a little bit easier when you get inside the 20 to put those contested catches up where just a place that Devontae Parker can get them. But I think it's a great guy to analyze. I just think it's been such an interesting journey. Is right out of the gate, wow, this really seems like Devontae Parker's going to make an impact. It seemed like it, and I know it hasn't been great through the first 2 games, but I'm not as discouraged about it as a lot of people. I know the stats don't look great for him. Even going back to what Tony said, I feel like it's 2 games in the season.
Mm-hmm.
These are 2 very specific games for everybody across the league. Once you get to 6 weeks, then you can maybe start talking about where you rank in points per game. But, right now I think those 2 games are what they are, and you just have to continue to try to get the offense going so that you can get down the field and, then you get those opportunities for Hunter Henry and Devontae Parker where I think they're at their best down in the red zone.
Deuce is a big extension of the preseason guy. 5-6 weeks.
At least a week
barely,
3.
They barely count.
It's like how many times are you going to blow a 21-point lead to the Jets in the fourth quarter? Like they're going through it too. It gives it taketh and it giveth. Sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. These are very specific games that you don't really have a big sample size yet.
I'm hoping to see the offensive line continue to get better. I feel like they
just get better.
Their communication from the first game to the second game, I feel like feel like it grew so much. I don't know how they did it,
Yeah.
but I mean,
I felt like
it
right
was
out of the gate too. It just seemed like
Yeah.
they seemed a little bit more comfortable finding that consistency. But I think you're seeing. I don't want to like blow up Cole Strange, but I mean I think he was good last week. I think Michael Onwenu's been really good too. Some of his, he's just tossing guys like he usually does. I think he's really fitting in well in that other spot. So if you get some consistency out of the tackles and Matt gets a little bit more comfortable and just has a little bit more pocket presence based on that confidence, I think he'll start hitting even more of those plays. I think there are other plays there that they aren't even hitting yet. So reason for optimism, hopefully.
The offensive line point is a good one, Tamara, because I thought they looked so much better last week, especially in pass protection early on. So, more of that. I think it could bode well. Paulie Paul back with us now. Everything good, Paul?
Everything's good.
We went over the inactives. I just want to ask you real quick before we go back to the phones. I already know the answer from this side of the room, but between Kyle Duggar and Jacoby Myers, who concerns you more in terms of their absence today? You're not on.
My button is pushed in.
Okay.
Now, so.
All right. Yeah. Now we got you.
To me, it's Kyle Duggar. I think he is the fastest, most physical guy in that back seven, and he's a guy I thought would be a big part of trying to contain Lamar Jackson on the run, and even Mark Andrews a little bit in coverage because of his athleticism. Obviously, he's out. The good news back there, though, is Jalen Mills is in. So hopefully he'll be able to be healthy enough to last the game.
I'm with you. Tamara and Deuce think it's Myers. I am. Look, I think it's a conversation. I think it's a good one. I hope that neither one ends up posing that much of a problem. I hope the other receivers are able to fill in and take over for Myers. And like you said, the fact that Mills is playing, all right. And if they do a decent job of containing Lamar, let's hope that the secondary is able to, all right, shore things up a little bit so that he doesn't have any weapons downfield. But it's going to be, I talk about two guys that you really didn't want to have missing today. Though, you'd be hard-pressed to come up with two that would worry you more than that. Obviously, Mac and certain guys on the line maybe. But
another thing I thought of, Paul, kind of a big day for you. We got a Bledsoe in the lineup for the first time here since in about 21 years. So kind of exciting, maybe for you, a Bledsoe.
He didn't play any games last year.
I don't think so. No.
I thought he did.
No.
Excitement, palpable buzz.
Way to bring the energy, everybody.
Palpable buzz.
This is why people tune in. This is it.
I am speaking into existence a great game for Judon today against his former team.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
couple
like
guys.
that.
Carl Davis too. He's another former Ravens. I mean, there's been over the years a few crossovers, similar kind of team philosophies. I feel like. I liked hearing what some of those guys said this week, just of the other side of the rivalry, hearing from Judon what it was like, going against the Patriots and Davis, and certainly been one of the best rivalries, some of the best games of the last 20 years, no question.
Back to the phones we go. Dustin in Ontario joining us on the Patriots Pregame Social. Dustin, what's up?
Hey, everyone. Hope you're having a good day today.
Thank you.
That's good. I just quickly wanted to chime in. I know it's been touched on in a few different occasions now. I just wanted to ask if there's been any added emphasis on pre-snap penalties and turnovers in recent practices.
I thought you meant in games. Yes, they have been emphasizing those. They've been getting a lot of them.
Yeah, I'm not naive enough to say that it would fix the offense, obviously, but I think it would really, really help. If you're 2nd and 8, and all of a sudden you get a 5-yard penalty, that makes a big difference. You're all of a sudden you're looking at 2nd and 13. And if you don't get a completion on that play, well, then you're looking at 3rd and 13, and that's difficult to complete. So anyway, I think Devontae Parker really needs to get some more involvement in the offense, in particular in the red zone, as was talked about before. And I think Myers not being in the lineup today is it's going to be difficult to overcome for the Patriots, already a struggling offense as it is. That's all I got for today, guys. Good luck and go Pats.
Thanks, Dustin. I appreciate it.
I think he's right about the pre-snap stuff. Like, they need to clean that up.
Yeah.
It's been a huge problem.
Especially at home today, like not going to fly. maybe you get some excuse on the road a little bit, but not today, especially on the offensive side of the ball.
Okay, so if I had a third key, if that was allowed.
I thought you're only up to 1.5. I think
I
this
make
would
the
be your
rules.
1.75.
I make the rules. Okay.
How about a full 2 keys?
Okay, a full 2
We
keys.
give you another half.
It would be don't beat yourself. I think that you can't give Lamar those extra drives. So if it is 4th and 1 or 3rd and 1 and Carl Davis jumps off sides and gives Lamar a fresh set of downs, like that's going to be a problem. That can't happen.
These are like these keys, though, and you're totally right, are just like the current state of the Patriots keys that, like, based on what we know about this team over the last couple years, like fast start, critical. You know, not beating yourself with an inordinate amount of mistakes and penalties, critical. I mean, some of these things, like, usually you didn't really have to focus on them because you knew 9 times out of 10 that they were not going to make those kind of mistakes and errors that undercut themselves, or that they'd be able to overcome a slow start perhaps. But until this team proves that they can overcome a slow start or overcome making more mistakes than the other team, like everything Tamara's saying about those baseline things of not beating yourself, it's just absolutely.
Because I feel like they don't just get one. I feel like it just piles up. Like it just gets worse
and in bad
worse.
times too, on like third downs and, you know, just in inopportune moments.
Like we learned in The Natural, losing is a disease. And
as contagious as syphilis.
That's right. And beating yourself is a disease as contagious as the bubonic plague. And that was your key last week. And I may have said something unkind about your key last week. But I think now when you get to week 3, okay, no more of that. You know? And
we shouldn't even have to say it. It shouldn't even have to be a key.
Plus, you got a win last week, okay? And if you had made some of those, I'm like, okay, you can clean those up. Well, you got a couple more last week, so let's make sure they're cleaned up now. You know, it changes from week to week.
Especially coming out of a timeout, too. It's like you come out of a timeout and then you get a penalty.
Oh, it's the one that I just can't shake loose of. You want energy? If this is the Michelle in South Carolina that I think it is, get ready for the energy.
I just came from South Carolina.
Oh, Michelle, welcome into the Patriots Pregame Show.
Hey.
Hi.
Honey,
Yes.
what's happening? I'm stalking you.
Well, that's okay. Michelle is a regular caller into Zolak and Bertrand on the Sports Hub here in Boston, but nice to hear you on the Patriots.com pregame show. What's going on?
Nothing. I'm waiting to open up my first beer.
Why are you waiting?
Why? Yeah,
It's 11:51. I mean, that's tragic. What are you waiting for?
It's 5 o'clock. It's noontime somewhere.
Correct.
So listen, where are we going to get those extra points from if Myers is out? Do you think Belichick, when he was working with the offense a lot last week, so since Myers is out, do you think he's going to do it maybe a little bit more today? I'm praying he does.
Well, I think we kind of stumbled onto it a few minutes ago. How about incorporating some tight end play again? How about getting those guys involved in the offense at the very least to move the chains? And if they do get down into the red zone, how about utilizing a guy like Hunter Henry? Then I think you could get some points that way.
Hardy, I've been asking for that since game 1.
Michelle, that's why you and I are friends. We share a brain. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, don't hang up on me.
She could feel the finger going to the button.
She gets mad when you hang up on her.
You've heard.
You have to give me a warning.
Okay.
So, I'm not really happy about Duggar being out. So who is going in for him today? Do you
Deuce.
know?
Yeah, probably Jabril Peppers will play some of that role. I'm not expecting Josh Bledsoe to play really on defense, perhaps, but it'll probably be Phillips and McCourty and Peppers.
Okay, Michelle, I'm gonna.
Wait a minute, one more question.
Okay.
Okay, listen, are they going to do more of the hurry-up offense for Matt today to keep the Baltimore defense off the field? And then that's it. Have a great game, everybody.
Okay, thanks, Michelle.
She's hanging up on us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, any of those tools that they can use that I don't think that they've been using enough of, we play action, that's what we're talking about all week. They're bottom of the league in play action and motion and all those kind of things. So I think as a tool, the hurry up, I think it can be effective. They used it a little bit, I think, in the start of the second half, that first drive that they put together. So, I think definitely it's a tool for with a team like the Ravens too that like to move guys around and kind of mess with you defensively. Don't really get them a chance to get settled and throw curveballs at you. So I'm a fan. I hope, and the more they can do on offense to dress things up and try to make it a little more complicated, I'm all for it.
That's the way I look at it too. Is like if you're going to be basic and not be productive, then why not try some different things? And I hear people say, well, they can't get the vanilla stuff. So until they get the vanilla stuff down, they can't move on. Well, I don't really think, a hurry up or, pre-snap motion or, a play action fake is more than vanilla. Football. It's just it's just football. And I say this all the time. I watch high school games every week where all of these things are done all the time.
Right.
It's not exotic stuff.
No, and
you should be able to do anything you want to do, in that regard. Now, you want to talk about like multiple option routes and, interchangeable parts on offense, the way they always used to teach the receivers, Mike, he's got to run, the X, Y, and Z. He's got to know all the. Okay, that's advanced.
Yeah.
So maybe some of the new guys that are here with a new offense don't know all the different spots. So it's kind of hard to just have everybody be interchangeable.
Right.
But you can run a hurry up if you want. You can run play action passes if you want.
I think it goes in with what we were talking about right before you left, which is just if you have improved anything with your offense in your practices and you want to show some confidence, show it by virtue of a little bit of hurry up or going for it on a fourth down in midfield. Show that, show yourselves, show the team that it's like, no, we've been working on this. It's okay. We can do this. We can handle this. You're going to have to. You're going to have to put points on the board today. You're going to have to. I don't even want to call it take some risks or take some chances. You're just going to have to, like Paul said, just play football. Do what every team should be capable of doing. Matthew in Nebraska. What's going on, Matthew? Is it Matthew Sweet? He's from Nebraska. That'd be something.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Is this Matthew Sweet?
No, it is not.
Oh, all right.
Not Sweet.
Sorry to disappoint you.
That's all right. What do you got for us?
Matthew Sour.
Well, I was just calling because I was listening to the podcast earlier this week, and people asked me about how to listen to the game when they're not in the local market. And there's an app in the App Store, the Boston Game Day Game Day Radio, that you can listen to live Patriots games on and other Boston teams. But that way you don't have to pay for NFL Plus or things like that.
All right, that's good. That's good information. There are a couple of different ways, a couple of different workarounds. Not to force anybody anywhere else, but Sirius XM subscribers can listen to the local call of every team, every game, virtually every sport. They have them all there on the app, so you can always do that.
Yeah. Bob Sosi, Scott Zolak. Right on your phone.
That's right.
Whenever you want it.
That's right. All right. We're going to step aside. We're going to continue the Patriots pregame show fueled by Dunkin. It's always game on with Dunkin. I shouldn't have to tell you this, which is why grabbing a coffee, the most important game day ritual. I've already finished mine off.
Oh, I finished mine before the show.
Tamara's cup is sweating all over the console here. The best
she
call.
She could use a napkin.
Yeah, she
or
really
at least a coaster.
Here, you want this one? It's a little balled up.
I don't want your used napkin.
I haven't used it for anything other than cup sweat.
Ew.
The best call for football is Dunkin', the official coffee of the New England Patriots. America runs on Dunkin'.
Touchview Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, Touchview also offers a built-in PC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
Patriot Place is the region's #1 shopping, dining, and entertainment destination. Shop your favorites, including Vineyard Vines, Express, Olympia Sports, Petco, and more. Enjoy dining at one of our 19 restaurants, including 6 String Grill and Stage, Scorpion Bar, and Bar Louie. And don't forget about the entertainment. Explore your inner artist at Muse Paint Bar, watch a movie at Showcase Cinema Deluxe, or grab a controller and start gaming at Helix Esports. For a complete directory listing, please visit patriot-place.com.
In sports, if you think joy only happens after you win, think again. Look at the world's most successful athletes like Serena Williams, Brooks Koepka, and Alex Morgan. They don't spend all their days grinding away. They take time to enjoy themselves, like getting together with friends over a Michelob Ultra, because they know that happiness is the key to winning, and that joy is the whole game, not just the end game. Michelob Ultra. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
There's no season better than football season. And there's no better place to get in on all of the action than with DraftKings, the official daily fantasy sports partner of the New England Patriots. To add to the thrill, DraftKings has millions of dollars in prizes up for grabs every week. So head to the app now and check it out. If you haven't tried it yet, fantasy football is easy to play. Just pick 9 players, stay under the salary cap, and pile up points for yards, touchdowns, receptions, and so much more. There's no better way to put your football knowledge to the test than to compete for a shot at $1 million in total prizes. Download the DraftKings app now and use promo code PATS to get a shot at millions of dollars in total prizes every week. That's promo code PATS to get a shot at millions of dollars in total prizes every week, only at DraftKings. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Some people are never content with simply being good. Not when they can be great. But it takes a big step to get there. In fact, it takes a leap of faith, a belief in what you're striving toward, and a willingness to make the commitment day in and day out to something bigger than yourself. Putnam is proud to partner with those who share their own commitment to performance excellence. This is Matt Light for Putnam Investments, a world of investing.
Johnny, you funny.
Join the conversation by calling the Ace Ticket hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at webradio@patriots.com.
Pat Perillo with us. PP.
Live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, here's Hardy.
All right, a couple of phone calls. We'll get to our over-unders right after. But first, we go down to Miami, FLA. John.
Nope.
Son of a motherless biscuit.
Good job, Fred.
Goat.
I think Fred is like upstairs. Like
He's unhappy.
I think he calls in his other people and then just hangs up.
Yeah,
Trolling.
that's what it is. I just figured he was tinkering with the connections just to make sure it didn't happen.
A little gremlin.
I got a bone to pick with him anyway. I can't wait to see him post game.
Oh, you should. You're going to give him a verbal undressing?
I'm going to give him a what for?
Thank you. I'm going to give him what for. Eric in New Jersey on the Patriots Pregame Show. What's up, Eric?
Hey, you guys can hear me?
Yes,
we can.
Okay, just had a question with this offense. You think there's any chance that we start seeing the tight ends start getting these seam routes? Some of this goes maybe up to kind of open that up through the middle. And just another thing with Parker, why don't we kind of use him like that Brandon LaFell route? Kind of be similar players as far as separation, kind of get those early slants just to get some drives going. I'll take it off the line and thanks, guys.
Thanks, Eric. Appreciate the call.
I think you will see some slants from Parker.
Yeah, that was their other play with him.
But the LaFell drive starting, 12-yard out, I don't want to see Parker running those.
No, I mean, we've
but
really
the slants, I think
him.
he's got the frame. I think that's a good route for him. I think he's got strong hands. Slants I like.
Do you think you've seen him catch anything other than a contested red zone, fade? Or a slant. I mean, those are
in
the
the
only two routes
preseason. I
I've
saw
really
slants.
seen too much of them.
And I haven't seen them really try the slants in the regular season.
Not yet.
Well, and in terms of the tight ends, I mean, what did I say earlier, Deuce, that you made note of?
No, we're trying to incorporate some tight end play.
That's right.
It's a key. It's a key to the game today, as always. But
what's the matter with you?
I look forward to running next week's show by myself.
Well, I mean, I was going to say the thing about the seams is that Paul and I have talked about this a lot of not being one of Mac's best throws. That's one of the hairiest throws that he makes up the seam, and I don't think it's ever looked comfortable with Jonnu Smith. Jonnu Smith, I think he looks okay on the little crossers underneath where it's a dump off and run, but it seems like they have trouble kind of putting the ball in a good place with him. And Henry, hit or miss, but I just those are the throws that scare me with Mac, and I think he needs to be better, but how do you just force feed them when they're not one of their strengths? I don't know.
Let's get to the over-unders. Let's go ahead and do these.
It's time for this week's edition of Over Unders.
You're over me? When were you under me?
Oh, what happened last week? My.
Wow. Hardy 5-1, Mike 4-2, Paul 3-3. Bringing the season totals to Hardy 8-4, Mike and Paul tied at 6-6.
Running away with this. You guys want to press?
I didn't even suckle the hind teeth this week.
I know, but do you guys want to call this one off? Maybe reset, do a separate thing.
Stop the fight.
I'm good with that.
All right. Well, good luck this week.
All right. Mac Jones
Good
passing
luck.
yards 244.5.
Deuce, lead us off.
Oh, I'm torn right now. I'm torn between my feelings of positivity coming into the week and then my negativity of Jacoby Myers being out. I'm going to ride the positivity, though. I'm going to go over. I may be being crazy with this pick, though.
Just say what you're picking, please.
I'm picking the over.
Yeah, I'll take the over as well. I feel like they're going to need to throw the ball and score some points today. It's not going to just all be on the running game.
I, too, think that they are going to figure out a way to move the ball, and they will be doing that by virtue of the pass. So I will take over 244.5 passing yards for Mac Jones.
Damian Harris rushing yards 45.5.
Yeah, I love the over of this one. Damian Harris had a huge game back in 2020 against the Baltimore Ravens. I think that defense in 2020 was better than the one you're going to see today. The weather was terrible that night, and they kind of knew they were going to have to run the ball with Cam Newton because he couldn't throw it. And he still had a big game. So I'm going to go over.
Listen, kids, you will not do well going against Paul Perillo when he starts citing historical football facts.
I think he had 122 yards in that game.
I don't care. If you remember, I 100% know that you're correct. If you feel strongly about it based on your historic, encyclopedic knowledge of the game, I'm just going to go with you and say over.
Can you benefit at all from that historic encyclopedic knowledge? Because I don't really seem to have done anything with it in 54 years.
Are they still doing that sports Jeopardy?
Oh,
I bet you'd be
Patriots
great at
specific. Patriots specific, though.
No, he could do it for. You could do it for a lot of
come in other
sports.
teams? Yeah, I really haven't benefited from that at all.
I'm with you guys on the over with Harris. I think he has a good day.
Okay, Mark Andrews receiving yards 57.5.
It's just keeping with how I think this game unfolds. I have to go under.
Yeah, I do too. I hate agreeing with you guys every single one, but I think he's they contain him.
Yeah, I don't see that. I'll take the over of that game. Lamar Jackson loves him some Mark Andrews, and he'll give him opportunities.
Okay.
Especially with Duggar out. I think even though Duggar's not, I don't think his strength is coverage. His athleticism, I think, would allow him to be competitive with Mark Andrews.
Lamar Jackson passing yards at 217.5.
Go ahead, Deuce. You're up first.
I think it's going to be a little bit back and forth. I'm going to take the over on this one.
Yeah, I got the over on this.
I mean, just based on what's happened the last couple of weeks, as much as I want the game to unfold a certain way, I don't see that. I think you can allow him to throw for 240 and still win the game, and I'm okay with that. So I got to go over.
New England's total team touchdowns 2.5.
That's you, Paul.
Yeah, I'll take the under on that. I'm just going to go off of the trends. They haven't scored yet, and if they score today, then I'll rethink of how I'm going to answer these kinds of questions in the future.
Okay. I'm going over on this one, and that will help offset the Mark Andrews receiving yards one that Paul will probably get right and I'll get wrong. So I'm
Guy, I'm 6-6. I'm struggling.
Guy, you're due.
You're the one who's setting the pace.
Guy, you're due, Guy.
Kid.
Guy. Champ. Chief.
I'm over.
By the way, 3 touchdowns and a field goal for the Patriots.
I'm over.
Today.
I like that. I'm over too.
Okay.
And the total score at 40.5.
Was that back? No, it's you, Hardy. Right?
Yeah. I got this at 24-20. I gotta go 40.5. And not to tip my hand for the last pick when we do the Sunday 6-pack, but I'm going over.
Yeah, I'm going over too.
And Paul's going under.
Nope, Paul's going over.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think.
Because the Ravens are going to score how many?
Well, do
we'll
I have to say it now?
No.
I just feel like 40 is a low number. I don't think there's a lot of over-unders in the 30s in the NFL. So yeah, I'm going to go over.
Well, it would have worked for you last week. I wanted to blow up the over when it was at 40.5, and they missed it by 10 points.
Yeah, but that was 2 bad offenses playing last week.
Okay. All right. Good times on the over-unders. Thank you very much.
Good times.
Moving on. 2 more hours of the pregame show here on Patriots.com.
Yes, got some warm-ups coming up.
You
here
are
in
a
minute.
baby.
855. Yeah. Listen. Yeah, I already
dropped on the floor.
I already dropped.
Unbelievable.
We had a busy morning already, and we managed. I didn't even have time to do it, but we managed the full dog walk down to the Springdale Variety and back, so we could pick up the Sunday paper and get my daughter to her driving class before I even made it to Gillette Stadium. We do more in the Hardy compound, in the Hardy household, by 9 a.m. than most families do all day. Okay, and today's one of those days. Yeah, I know.
Right at
busy.
Where's our confidence level on our daughter's driving right now?
It hasn't actually been behind the wheel, just classroom work for the first couple of weeks, 6 hours on a Sunday.
Yeah.
You want to talk about somebody who's complaining. You want to talk about somebody who's a baby. So you can drive a car and have freedom. So, I mean.
Small price to pay.
Yeah, seriously. Not that, she knows what she's going to be driving yet. She thinks she's going to be driving mommy's car. I'm like, oh, no, that car belonged to mommy. You don't get a car. What do you think this is? What are you, Jake Ryan?
Yeah,
You're going to have a Porsche waiting for you? No.
There you go.
Son of a motherless goat.
I heard the grill alone cost $10,000 on this thing. You have $10,000?
5.
I don't have $10,000.
5. $5,000.
I'll
It's
trust
$5,000
you. I'll
on the
trust
grill.
you. On,
Yeah.
You have
much
$5,000,
like you
I don't
trust
have
me with
$5,000.
random stats, I'll trust you with random lines.
That's right.
I was trying to work a better off dead that I believe she called was Tasty. Has marred the far front driveway ever since.
Oh. Didn't see that one.
I know.
Let's get to the emails then. Since
I'm really disappointed with myself.
Gotta watch that better off dead, Paul.
Get
on my level.
I don't know if it would hold up.
It does.
But you can't say that.
We just watched it.
Because you and I both love it.
I tell you, Charles DeMar still closes it down. I mean, I showed my 14-year-old. He loved it.
Okay. This is from Grant in the UK. You were talking about who Mac will now target without Jacoby today, considering the reported issues that Patricia has with Bourne. Is it not more likely Henry or Jonnu get the extra targets and they play more 2 tight end offense instead of swapping Jacoby's role with Bourne? I have confidence in Bourne and Henry, but I'm still not convinced about Jonnu. Thanks, guys. Grant in Manchester.
I don't think they've been very productive with the 2 tight ends, and I think they've tried to do it more early on, but I just
but is that their fault? Henry got 1 target last week. Jonnu had 2 targets last week.
No, it's
They've
true.
tried.
And they haven't been productive with anything. Like they did 2 tight ends both weeks. They just had a different pair of tight ends last week. It was Humphrey and whoever, as opposed to Smith and Henry. They felt like that gave them a difference on the matchup because they were treated differently. I don't think it was any more productive. Now, I do think they moved the ball better against Pittsburgh than they did Miami. I thought that they, for whatever yardage is worth, I think they had like 370. They had like 100 more yards in the Pittsburgh game than they did the Miami game. I thought that had as much or more to do with the offensive ineptitude that Pittsburgh had, which gave them more opportunities, and they had the big time of possession edge in the Steelers game. But I kind of agree with Mike. I don't think the matchups have been there for them. I think they could use it, but why not just go with Bourne, Aguilar, and Parker? Like, why are we overthinking this?
Right.
I don't know. It seems to make so much sense, but kind of in line with the offense and the questions and the inability to do much. Deuce is going to hate this question, but I think it's a good one.
Perfect.
L in Wisconsin. Hey, y'all. Easy yes or no question for you today.
This is Deuce now?
Deuce is not going to like this. Does the offense get booed? My prediction is yes. Think about it. Home opener, and this has been the talk of the preseason and the first 2 games.
No.
Does at any point the offense get booed today?
I'm going to say no, and we have our first peek at McCorkle.
There he is.
Warmups are
Throwing
live.
some warm-up tosses out on the Gillette Stadium turf.
Yep.
Little switch, healthy week for him that wasn't dealing with the back or
thank goodness.
stomach injury. stomach injury. Did I say that? Stomach illness, I guess, was what it
Tum-tum.
was.
He had a tummy ache.
He had a tum-tum.
But yeah, that's big day for him for sure.
That's a look at is it Marcus Stout? What's Stout's first name? Why am I just going to create a name for him? He was a punter
Phineas.
that the Patriots reportedly had some interest in, and the Ravens took him in, I don't know, the 4th or 5th round, and kind of took him off the board. That was when they were still having problems. Mike Reese wrote about this in his Sunday notes with the Jake
round.
Bailey contract situation, and the Ravens ended up taking him. He's their rookie punter. Stout.
4th rounder, yeah.
And it was Jordan Stout, not Marcus.
Not Phineas?
My apologize.
All right.
Phineas and Ferb?
Phineas T. Stout. Yeah, I don't know. It sounded good. I'm going to look at Hoyer back there, too, getting his warm-ups in, throwing a little toss and catch there with Mac Jones.
Yeah, Pierre Strong. When are we going to maybe see a little bit of him at running back, maybe at some point?
Looks like there's a little bit of wind on the field there, judging by the way the towel on Pierre Strong's back was blowing around a little bit there. Oh, there's Big Vince.
There he is.
Woo! Had a chance to talk to Big Vince this week, Hardy. Matt Smith and I did a wonderful Pats from the Past podcast with him.
If you do say so yourself.
Oh, it was tremendous, if I do say so. It's good stuff there. I think Patriots fans will enjoy it. Vince was very appreciative of you, the fans.
I thought you meant Hardy.
He felt the love here. I know he expressed a lot of that yesterday at his ceremony officially being inducted. He'll obviously be honored at halftime today as well. But something to keep an eye out for Patriots fans. Vince Wilfork this week's Pats from the Past podcast. Matt, do we have any? Is that that's not available as of yet? I don't believe. Is it?
Yeah, it should be. I think.
It is. It is available.
Double check.
I believe
Might have been
So
released.
if it's not available right this second, it will be available within the next 24 to 48 hours. So, yeah, it is up. I'm told. Marine Corps, who I informed Vince. Vince gave Marine Corps a little playful jab. And I said, you better watch yourself there. That's the next Marine. He's got about 12 different ways to kill you. And he goes, oh, he was taken aback by that. He was a little worried.
Especially now he's down to like 280.
He's lost about a hundo. I'd say he's lost 100 pounds.
Yeah.
He told us 80 when we talked to him on Friday, or 80 some odd pounds. He looks great.
He does. He looks
if he
great.
admits to 80.
60 pounds of chaw in his jaw, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. But he was good, and I enjoyed the conversation. I wish we had a little bit more time, but he was so overbooked on Thursday.
We saw him, or whatever day it was, Thursday or Friday when he called in. I can't remember.
Yeah,
was it
Thursday.
Thursday when he showed up at the stadium?
It was Thursday.
So
he was with
Thursday,
you guys
that's when
first, I think. Then he did a couple of things.
We heard him getting out of the car, and he was, I think, walking up, and he said, "Guys, I have to. They're literally taking the phone out of my hand. I got to go do this." But the one thing that I did mention to him is that I said it doesn't. What?
No, we just saw Bradley, guy we work. Guy we work with.
I said very few guys are able to, play in New England, be thought of as a New Englander, leave, and then come back and still have that. I said, just the sense I get, people think of you as a New Englander, as a Boston guy, which you obviously aren't. I mean, you're down in Texas, you got your smoker going, everything about you says, I'm not a Boston guy, but it's kind of that thing, like the only thing people resent more about someone who spends time here and leaves is someone who has the audacity to come back for whatever reason. I said, but with Vince, I said, people just love you. And I think, I don't know if you feel this, but you've got a home here. And he said, absolutely, Boston is home. He said, live here, but, being back here just for a little bit of time, we're thinking about getting another place here and just having this because it's so wonderful coming back. And he was talking about going to Dom's and getting his steak and cheese and, the places he went first and all the stuff that you do when you do come back. And he's got a home here, and it's great to see him back.
It is. He's such a unique player. And, I mean, at this point, guys are going in that won multiple Super Bowls. But he's one of the few that connect the last one of that first three and the first one of those three. And
That's
I think,
part of it, I think.
For me as a fan, he just was such a big part of all those disappointing years in the middle. Not to highlight those, but, I just think those years were so frustrating. And Vince was such a, piece that you always kind of connected to as a piece from the past. And obviously a huge part of what they did on defense. And, talking about the Ravens games, they put out the hype video this morning of what a big part Vince was, especially in that 2011 AFC Championship that he's brought up, quite a few times. But just a great Patriot. And I think part of what, to what you're saying, Hardy, was seeing him get that title in 2014 and almost feeling like his work was done. He connected the two, and then they were off, and then they still got another two after he left. But just a special guy and a bit of a unique one as far as Patriots history, I think.
Yeah, that bridge and just that guy that made a connection here with the fans. And not everybody does. There was all that talk of Tom Brady over the years, and even Brady said, like, when he was going for his last contract, he said, we've really settled down here and, planted our roots here. And it's like, guy, you've been here for 20 years and you're just now talking about how you're settling down in Boston. That's the sense you get with some of these players. As great as they are, you never really think of them as being part of the community. But Vince is still.
Yeah, and Edelman too. I mean, it's just, it's Boston fans. They love their guys, and you come here, you win championships. They don't forget. You're not buying a lot of beers with your own money when you're around here. That's for sure.
How about Dave in Bethlehem, PA, who says, will today be Jonnu's revenge game? He says next year is a contract year for Aguilar, so he should play better than last year. How many catches today?
Did he mean Judon's revenge game?
He must mean Judon. He must mean Judon against his former team.
Yeah, and this is not like Judon spoke glowingly of his time with Baltimore, and he actually compared the two situations quite favorably. The Ravens locker room and the Patriots.
I don't see them as
winning cultures, willing to accept guys immediately and fit right in. And I thought he had a lot of nice things to say about the Patriots organization being similar to what he was used to in Baltimore. So I don't necessarily think there's any quote unquote revenge on the mind there. And Jonnu played for Tennessee, so I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
I think he probably meant Judon instead of Jonnu.
Yeah. I mean, go ahead, Hardy. Sorry.
No. I've messed those up in my head before, too. It's something with the J and the O and the U, and it's like, they all get, I got a lot of stuff scrambled around
5
up
letters.
here.
Yeah, dogs and cats living together. Right? Who'd have thunk it?
But
Deuce, did you have something?
No, I was just going to say that, to echo Paul's point about Judon, I got a lot of respect for the Ravens and the games that they've played. And, I think either way, you come out of here, somehow you get a win. It's not a lot about style points. I think wins count, not more, but just you beat a good team like this.
Good win.
You got to earn it. You got to earn it today, and they're not going to get
the only way I would say that that was a meaningless win is if somehow something really crazy happens and there's multiple turnovers that are kind of unforced. Like a fumbled snap, snap over someone's head or something like that, and it leads directly to the game-winning touch, something like that. Otherwise, you beat the Ravens. That's a good win. The Ravens are a good team. Are they great? Are they the best team in football? No. Do they have issues? Yes. They have a lot of things they're trying to work out just like you do. But the Ravens make you earn it. That's a good win if you're able to beat Baltimore.
Another email here, David in Maine. He said, I think the last time I felt this worried about a wide receiver missing a game was in the Edelman era. Myers is our most valuable wideout and deserves a contract this upcoming season. Keep in mind how durable he typically is as well, and this game could really be one that encourages the Patriots to keep him. A game that he misses is one that encourages the Patriots to keep him.
Exactly. No, I mean, if it's tough sledding without him, and it's more of a difference than we're anticipating.
Yeah, unfortunately. Jessica in Utah has a gripe with you, Paul.
Good.
That's okay.
Good.
Somebody in Utah is
Give it to him,
upset
Jessica.
with Paulie Paul.
Yeah.
What do you got, Jessica?
Hi, Jessica.
Hi, guys. So earlier in the week, I think, you mentioned that the Patriots are just a Boston team. And I grew up in New Hampshire, and we're definitely a New England team, so don't alienate the rest of the state.
Oh, no.
Did you? Okay, now, Jessica.
I didn't say that no one else was allowed to like them.
Fair enough.
Jessica, do you eat? How long have you been in Utah?
So I've been in Utah about a year and a half.
Do you notice people eating a lot of Jell-O there? More Jell-O consumption per capita than any other state in the union.
Not a lot of Jell-O, but a ton of soda. There's a ridiculous amount of.
Maybe I should think about heading out to Utah.
Well, all right, Jessica. So everything good with you and Paul? Can we all set?
I mean, I'd put New Hampshire second to Massachusetts as far as like Patriots quality fan rankings. You know, Massachusetts, they're here, but I think New Hampshire's probably second.
I thought everybody would say Rhode Island.
You'd go to Rhode Island?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot that's a state.
Wow.
I joked. That was a shot fired.
So Joe Mazzulla on line 3 has a gripe with Deuce.
Apparently. Erica in Virginia. Hello, Erica. Thanks for being on the Patriots Pregame Show.
Hello. Thank you for having me. I never thought I'd be here.
Well,
you did it. You made it.
You've arrived.
Thank you. Hey, guys, I have a quick question for you, a serious question, actually. And I've been thinking about it and watching back some old gameplays. After Tyquan Thornton comes back from his injury, even before his injury, do y'all see him stepping up into a position or a player like Randy Moss was with the Patriots back in the day? Or do y'all think Kendrick Bourne, being the guy who plays without gloves, would step up into a position like that?
This is a Deuce question. You like to give him the Randy Moss comparison.
I do like to give him the non-freak Randy Moss. I just think any way they can get him involved. I don't need to jump on the comparison, but I just think he's fast, and he looked more comfortable than you've seen a lot of rookie receivers look in training camp, and he had plus athleticism. So as soon as they get him back, get him involved as quickly as possible in as many ways as possible. That's my vote.
I mean, it's obviously a tall ask, but there's no reason why he can't be an important part. I bristle. Randy Moss. I'm like,
it's hard. I can't do it.
I can't do it. Bridgestone, official tire of the New England Patriots, proud to partner with Sullivan Tire, New England's headquarters for quality Bridgestone tires. Visit sullivantire.com to find a location near you. We'll be back with the Sunday six-pack coming up next here on the Patriots Pregame Show, fueled by Dunkin.
TouchView Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, TouchView also offers a built-in VC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
#1 shopping, dining, and entertainment destination. Shop your favorites, including Vineyard Vines, Express, Olympia Sports, Petco, and more. Enjoy dining at one of our 19 restaurants, including 6 String Grill and Stage, Scorpion Bar, and Bar Louie. And don't forget about the entertainment. Explore your inner artist at Muse Paint Bar, watch a movie at Showcase Cinema Deluxe, or grab a controller and start gaming at Helix Esports. For a complete directory listing, please visit patriot-place.com.
In sports, if you think joy only happens after you win, think again. Look at the world's most successful athletes like Serena Williams, Brooks Koepka, and Alex Morgan. They don't spend all their days grinding away. They take time to enjoy themselves, like getting together with friends over a Michelob Ultra, because they know that happiness is the key to winning, and that joy is the whole game, not just the end game. Michelob Ultra. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
There's no season better than football season. And there's no better place to get in on all of the action than with DraftKings, the official daily fantasy sports partner of the New England Patriots. To add to the thrill, DraftKings has millions of dollars in prizes up for grabs every week. So head to the app now and check it out. If you haven't tried it yet, fantasy football is easy to play. Just pick 9 players, stay under the salary cap, and pile up points for yards, touchdowns, receptions, and so much more. There's no better way to put your football knowledge to the test than to compete for a shot at $1 million in total prizes. Download the DraftKings app now and use promo code PATS to get a shot at millions of dollars in total prizes every week. That's promo code PATS to get a shot at millions of dollars in total prizes every week, only at DraftKings. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Some people are never content with simply being good. Not when they can be great. But it takes a big step to get there. In fact, it takes a leap of faith, a belief in what you're striving toward, and a willingness to make the commitment, day in and day out, to something bigger than yourself. Putnam is proud to partner with those who share their own commitment to performance excellence. This is Matt Light for Putnam Investments. a world of investing.
Join the conversation by calling the Ace Ticket hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at webradio@patriots.com.
2-13-1 overall, not with the spread.
Wowie, wow,
Pretty
wow.
bad. Which was legendary, and I know he's listening too. He should feel shame right now.
Live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, here's Hardy.
Very busy. All right, let's continue on here with the Patriots Pregame Show, which is fueled by Dunkin. By the way, I want to say thank you to Dom's, now the official steak tip of the New England Patriots. Dom innate the grill. Classic.
I get it.
This season with the tailgate box subscription.
He made me laugh with the classic.
Visit domsausage.com to choose your plan and get a curated box filled with their quality meats delivered to your doorstep, ready to grill for the game. You will be the MVP of the tailgate season. There we go. Thank you. Thank you. Want to do the six-pack? Want to get into it?
This is the Sunday six-pack, so kick back and listen to the position. I'm itching to get the picks back. You better bring a big stack. Don't get it mixed, yeah. I came to win it, yeah. This is the Sunday six-pack.
Well, it's still anybody's ball game in the Sunday six-pack, but there is a
With
clear-cut
15
leader.
weeks left in the season?
You know something, Paul?
You think it's up in the air?
Let me do my little setup. Let me do my little preamble here, and then you can crack wise.
I think I should be asking you guys if you want to reset it this Sunday six-pack.
No. We're only 2 games off. You guys are way behind me in the over-unders.
Yeah.
Way behind.
Checks notes. 2 games.
Damn it.
Son of a.
How's that? Oh, it's different totals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. 8, 4, 6.
Interesting
6,
Sunday
12.
six-pack this week.
It is. I'm glad that the Chargers aren't on here with some of the uncertainty with Herbert. Seems that's
I'm
a
a little
more
worried
uncertain
about
than it
that
was.
one
Mm-hmm.
for different reasons.
Oh, knockout?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
He's got real knockout pains
Problems.
going on right
Implications.
now. Okay. So what happened last week there, Matt?
Last week, Mike 4-2, Paul 3-3, Hardy 2-4, bringing the season totals to Paul 7-5, Mike and Hardy 5-7.
You know what? I knew it as I was making the picks.
Hind
Paul, you know what it's like in the middle of your backswing when you just know it's not going to go well? I knew that halfway through the picks last week. It was not going to go well for
That's
me.
interesting.
I knew I was just going to,
Just bad feeling.
just shank it into the woods. I knew it. So I'm trying to avoid that negative thinking this week. Really focus in. Let's go.
Okay.
All right. Season totals. You already did those? Did you
Yes.
say?
Did.
All right.
Yep.
Dude.
You're not
In case
doing
you
well.
need
I know. I was busy
in case you
thinking
need it
about.
repeated. You're in last.
I was busy thinking about my golf metaphor, and I'm tied for second. So please, last.
Yeah. Right.
The
Tied for
2-0
last.
Buffalo Bills at the 2-0 Miami Dolphins. Buffalo minus 4.5.
Oh boy. Yeah, Buffalo, a bunch of injuries, as Paul informed me this morning.
Evidently, Mike doesn't pay attention to the NFL.
I checked out.
They're
on
only
the
missing
Bills. I'm
6
like,
starters on defense.
I can't even look. I'm still going to go with them, though, on the road. I'm going to take Buffalo. I'll lay the points.
Yeah, I am going to change my pick that I've used during the week. I'm going to take Miami. I just think there's too many guys missing. I think that's a lot. 6 starters, including the entirety of the 4-man secondary. I'll take Miami.
Yeah, I can't stand the guy, but we're talking about points here, and Tyreek Hill is capable of so many points. And you have that many injuries on the Buffalo defense. I can't pick against them. I'll take. I don't know if they win, but I think they can. I think they can make it a, 34-30 game or something like that. So that's not crazy. So I'll take the Dolphins also. Hey, we got warm-ups back on the field here, Paul. I want to give you an opportunity to share a little something
Well,
with
thank you
us.
very much, Hardy. That's a perfect segue into today's key data point presented by Demand Science. And this one is all about the home opener. We've been talking about how this is kind of the unofficial start of the season because we feel, as I talk, we lose our video again, but that's okay. It doesn't make it any less relevant that today is the home opener. And the Patriots, Mike Dussault, did you know this? The Patriots are 17-3 in home openers since Gillette Stadium opened in 2002.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Matter of fact, there's only 2 teams that are better, and those 2 teams won their games this year. Their home openers this year, Denver and Seattle. They're 18-3.
Oh.
So the Patriots, with a win today over the Ravens can match them and be all three tied at the top at
They both-
18-3.
Now, do they have a game in hand, or the Patriots have a game in hand? How does the in-hand thing work?
Patriots would have the game in hand.
They have the game in hand.
They haven't played it yet.
They're even in the loss column.
I've always
Where
been.
does it go out of the hand?
I've always been confused by that, though. That mean you have a game, or you've played
That means
a-
you've played fewer games.
Right.
if you have a game in hand.
Correct. Anyway,
Okay.
Patriots 17-3 in home openers. Now, that would be the optimistic look. How'd last year's home opener go?
It was
Wow.
disappointing. It was disappointing.
Never mind.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, we're trying to remember the three that they had lost. That
I
took
remember
us a minute.
the Patriots coming off a Super Bowl win. They had the Chiefs in the home opener. Remember
Yes,
that one?
that was one of the losses last year. Miami was one of the losses, and then I believe
That was
2012.
That was a Week 1 game, wasn't it, against the Chiefs?
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
That was
They
the
raised
actual
banner.
opener. That was the NFL kickoff game.
Yeah.
Look at you, remembering encyclopedic knowledge.
Deuce was there.
But anyway, before I wrap this segment up, that is today's key data point presented by Demand Science.
Excellent. Excellent job, Paul. All right.
A little something extra in the check for that wonderful read.
There you go. Let's get to this next game. I'm excited about this one.
The 1-1 Detroit Lions at the 1-1 Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota -6.
Big NFC North tilt. What do you got for us, Paulie Paul?
I am going to take the Lions in the points. I think Minnesota will win the game, but I'll take the 6.
The roar is being restored. A win in Week 2? What you talking about? Lions, baby. Give me the 6.
I'm going to go in Minnesota as much as I can't stand trying to figure out Kirk Cousins. I love your Lions, though. I really do. But I'm going to go with the Vikes today.
Moving on to the 4 p.m. games. The 1-1 Green Bay Packers at the 2-0 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa -1.
Yeah, I think this is maybe where you start to see Tom Brady, his luck running out. They haven't scored a ton of points. I know that they're 2-0.
Smashed 2 tablets last week. 2.
Yeah, and I think I think this is a spot where they'd really like to pour it on and play well, and I think it goes the other way. And I think the Packers kind of surprise them at home and get the win today. I'm going to go Green Bay.
Well, I'm going to go with Tampa Bay. I don't necessarily disagree with you. I feel like at some point that's going to turn a little bit.
I think they've been hanging on by their fingernails here the first couple of weeks, and I think
they get amped for this one though. I'm going to take Tampa.
Oh, do you think they'll be excited for the football game today?
Yeah, they're extra excited.
Yeah, I'm going to take Green Bay as well. I'm a little concerned about the health status of the entirety of their receiving core, but I think Green Bay is right now better than Tampa. But we'll see how that unfolds as the season goes along. I agree with Hardy, and Tampa's offense doesn't look right to me. And speaking of a team missing all their wide receivers.
Yeah.
Just don't like Tom Brady. I guess you don't believe in him.
Okay. Sunday
He's
Night
too old.
Football. The 1-1 San Francisco 49ers at the 1-1 Denver Broncos. San Francisco 1-1.
All right, back around on the guitar for Deuce.
Yeah, I'm going to go San Francisco in this one. I know the Broncos pulled that one out last week, and Nathaniel Hackett getting a lot of flack for his coaching, but I think San Francisco wins on the road here.
Rare home dog situation for the Denver Broncos.
I agree, and for
Right.
that reason, I will take the Denver Broncos. And they have been as unimpressive as any team so far, but I will take them at home.
Lunacy, craziness. They're a home dog for a reason. They're not a very good football team. Jimmy G with his first chance at a full week of prep.
All he does is win.
All he does is win, this kid. I'll take the San Francisco 49ers. I'll lay your measly 1.5. Don't mean nothing.
I'll
to
tell you
me.
what the takeaway from the Denver Broncos so far is they have a coach who has vastly exceeded the Peter principle. That being Nathaniel Hackett. He is way over his skis.
Monday Night Football. The 1-1 Dallas Cowboys at the 2-0 New York Giants. New York -1.
This me. I will take the Giants at home. Without Dak Prescott, I think, nice win for the Cowboys last week. I think that was more about the struggles that Cincinnati is having. I'll take the Giants to go 3-0 under Brian Dable.
Oh, God. Do they start the season 3-0 with a win on Monday night against the Cowboys? I hate picking dogs on a Monday night game. So I'm not going to do it at this point either. It's just it's so odd for me to think that the Giants are going to be 3-0 to start this season, but I'm going to do it. I'll lay the point. I'll take the Giants.
Yeah, I'm taking the Giants too. Danny Dimes, Saquon Barkley. I like it.
And wrapping up with the 1-1 Baltimore Ravens at the 1-1 New England Patriots. Baltimore -2.5.
Yeah, I've got this as a 24-20 Patriots win today. So that's what I will stick with, and I will take the Pats.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Pats too. I will take them 27-24. Not sure exactly how they get to 27. I'm just being irrationally positive, I think, today, but I feel good. I think they're going to win.
Yeah, I guess I'll be the say hello to the bad guy. Bad guy. I will take Baltimore in this game.
Baltimore? Where's that?
That's, I think, the team that is more equipped to put some points on the board. I think that they do that today. They make the Patriots chase a little bit, and I'm not sure the Patriots are ready to do that. I will take the Ravens 27-16.
Oof. What? So they're not figuring out anything offensively to do. What happened to you can replace Jacoby Myers with any of these guys? You're scoring a point less than they did last week.
When Jacoby Myers plays, they don't score.
But you said they can replace him with all these other guys.
Correct. They can be the same offense that they've been. So can I make a preemptive strike? Just.
Uh-oh.
Like if the Patriots don't play well on offense in this game today, can I not hear anybody say I thought they were going to miss Jacoby Myers? Because they didn't play well on offense the last 2 weeks with Jacoby Myers either. So let's not just chalk it up like they really missed Jacoby Myers today. Like,
there's nothing I could say that would be apt that they missed Jacoby Myers after.
No,
this
if Mac Jones completes like 40% of his passes and like they go 1 for 11 on third down,
okay,
I think you could say
okay.
like,
all right,
they missed Jacoby Myers.
Okay, I got my thing.
You know what I mean? You know it when you see it.
All right. I suppose that makes sense, but I was feeling better earlier before you made your pick. That's all.
I don't know why my picks have any bearing on your thoughts. This is like Fred Kirsch when Evan Lazar is in the room.
To validate his.
Because I'm very much a codependent personality. I breathe the energy. I'm a people pleaser. What do you want from me?
Yeah.
Any other games that are of interest to you today, other than the ones we just picked? Do you feel anything about the Chiefs at the Colts today? Does that do anything for you?
I thought the Colts were going to be a little bit better. I still am kind of waiting for Jonathan Taylor. I still think those games, when they get Jonathan Taylor going and he just is unstoppable, that they'll win some games. But I think they've been pretty disappointing. For me, the big one I can't wait to see. Of course, I want to see Green Bay in preparation for next week. But Buffalo at Miami, Buffalo's shorthanded, but can Miami hold serve at home? I mean, Paul said this week that it hasn't really been close, so maybe this is the kind of boost that they need to get a home win and boost their confidence a little bit and really make the division somewhat interesting.
Yeah, and I think Buffalo can win that game still because I think I have so much respect for their offense, but I would have to think that they're going to have a hard time slowing down the Dolphins' offense.
Yeah, and
with all of that personnel missing.
Curious about Josh against Vrabel, two teams. I feel like Tennessee right now, everyone's kind of feels like, is this it? Is this kind of Tannehill thing that they've been doing with Derrick Henry? Is that kind of, have we moved past that now? Josh, of course, needs a win with that team. They've got a lot of talent. So, Titans were the number 1 seed last year, so I think this is a big game for them too.
One thing I wanted to ask you too before we get to the final thoughts on today's game. You mentioned the onside kick last week, Paul. Where did we all fall on the replacing the onside kick with all the the goofiness of the 4th and 15 and all that stuff? Because I'm an onside kick guy.
Me too.
I keep it in there. I think it's a play where if you find yourself behind in a football game to that extent, it should be really, really hard to get the ball a second time and turning it into a 4th and 15, which I don't know. Would you be able to score on that play? It's just craziness to me. And
that's a good question too.
I think the idea of keeping it difficult and a low percentage play is the way it should be. You don't get the ball 2 times in a row, and you shouldn't change it at the end of a game.
Yeah, and how much can you put on offensive football? It's everything right now, and now we're going to make another play on the offense, so the teams with the best offenses are always going to be better. I mean, it's and I say this as a Patriots team hasn't put up a lot of points here, but you get the point.
I just think everything Hardy said is the reasons I would be in favor of keeping it the way it is. It should be hard. If you're down 2 scores in the last minute of a game, you shouldn't have just one play that happens all the time. Teams convert on long yardage situations all the time. Like, it should be something that's very difficult to do. I'm not sure you cut any college football. I know we're winding it up here. We have a couple of minutes left. Tennessee, Florida yesterday. Well, analytics dream. I didn't see anybody, sort of criticizing this. Maybe people weren't really paying attention. But Tennessee is up by 17 over Florida in the fourth quarter. I don't know. There's maybe about 4, 5, 6 minutes left. It's late. Desperation time. So Florida scores a touchdown. So it goes from 17 to where are we? 17 to 11, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, so it goes from 17 to 11. They go for 2. Like to try to get it to 9?
Right.
Okay. So sure enough, they miss it. So instead of going 17, cutting it from 17 to 10, it goes from 17 to 11. Tennessee runs some time off the clock, gets a few first downs. They eventually have to turn the ball over. Florida goes right down the field and scores like 25 seconds left.
Right.
They go for 2 again. They don't get it. So now they're down 38-33. If you kick the 2 extra points, the score would be 38-35.
Right.
They got the onside kick with 20 seconds left. Now you would only need to complete like a 10-yard pass, and at least you could kick a field goal. You could try.
Right.
But instead, they're still down 5 because Johnny Analytics had to go for 2, down 11 because he's cerebral, and he was trying to cut it to 9, which gives you no advantage whatsoever. And you don't have a chance. You're just trying to throw Hail Marys at the end, and they weren't able to do it. The onside kick, however, that Florida recovered was unbelievable play. The ball bounced up over a guy on the receiving team, and the Florida coverage guy reached back with one hand and just snared it. Unbelievable play.
Might go back and watch that now. Well, probably not.
No,
we got
you don't need to. I just told you what happened.
We got 15 minutes to kick off here. Final thoughts very quickly, Deuce.
Go Pats. I hope they play a clean game and show something new on offense.
I don't have anything to add to that.
Let's see some offense. 24. Score 24. That's what I want to see. We'll find out
Score
if it happens
more.
when you join us for the post-game show. Thanks for listening and watching.
Thank you for downloading this podcast. Subscribe on Apple, Google Play, and everywhere else you listen. Like the show? Please rate and review us. Listener comments and ratings help keep us high in the podcast rankings so new listeners can find us. Be sure to check Patriots.com for more news and more podcasts.
Settling is not an option. Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly.
Let's face it, shopping for a used car isn't always a positive experience, but that is about